As you may know, I reviewed restaurants for a dozen years before I shifted my career over to food writing and writing recipe books. But as it's the year of surprises and we're celebrating 10 years of MasterChef, I've been persuaded to come out of retirement for one last review. That's right. You have to base your dish on my review of Joe's dish.
Aaron, you are
George
the
and Gary.
pasta master.
I've definitely claimed that I love it, so it's time to try and make it the way that I love it.
OK, so what's your dish?
OK, prawn, lemon, fennel and parsley tortelloni, and I'm infusing the olive and truffle oil with prawns, with mussels, with garlic.
Very interesting smell. I mean, there's going to be a lot of flavour coming out of that.
And my secret ingredient, chipotle.
That's what I can smell.
Yeah.
We're going smoked paprika,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
chipotle is like
I wanted
a
little bit
dried
smoky.
chili.
So chipotle and truffle oil.
Yep. I'm going for something smoky. It's going to be a different taste, but look, this is an invention test. I want to do something a bit out of the ordinary.
Odd combination of flavours. Will it work?
I don't know, we're just going to have to wait and see. Right at the end, I think, is when it's going to count, because his pasta dough looks absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I agree.
Faster, faster, faster. You have 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Step away from your benches. Well done, guys.
Good
well
job.
done.
You've just cooked in the pasta invention test using the core ingredient of seafood and 15 other beautiful ingredients from the pantry. We're looking for the top dish of the day, and we're also looking for the 3 least impressive dishes of the day. The bottom 3 will face the pressure test tomorrow, and from there, one person will be leaving this competition for good.
Today, I'm not thinking as much about winning as not making a fool out of myself and not getting in the bottom 3. I've taken a big risk with what I'm cooking, and there's a high chance that they're not going to like it. If you put blood in the water, the sharks are going to come right in and feed, and, you know, I don't want that to happen. I could definitely have a chance of getting up there today, but I'm really nervous about what Matt's going to say. His palate is, you know, without question, and I don't know if I've taken this a little bit too far.
There's some dishes that are freakish Frankenstein disasters. And quite frankly, that is disgusting.
To me, from it leaving his hand and travelling down to hit the floor, that took about an hour. And I'm thinking to myself, this isn't really happening. This isn't really happening. My MasterChef time is over. And he looks up at me and he says,
Disgustingly good. I've destroyed that because I don't want any of these guys over there to taste it, because that is absolutely brilliant and inspired. Man, that is a really clever dish. Well done, right? That is brilliant. You have hit upon one of those very rare things, a unique combination of flavors that I've never seen anywhere else in the world, and it works. But that, man, is a cracking dish. And you know what I love? Now they'll never know quite how good that dish is. And that's the idea. You are the smoky chance. That is a smoky dish. Well done.
thank you. Thanks a lot, Matt. That's, I mean, what a great compliment. But I mean, you know, my hairline's gone back another foot. I mean, you know, take years off my life. That's just really full on.
Reese, talk to me, brother. Where you at? What do you got?
Mousse is nearly done. I'm starting on dehydrated olives. Then I'm going to finish it with the candied tarragon.
Great. Go for it, man.
So today I'm going to make a blackberry mousse with tarragon, dehydrated olive, and an almond twill. I want to do something unusual. I thought, how can I add some saltiness? And I thought maybe olives would be really cool. When I think salty, I think olives. So I definitely want to incorporate them, but I don't want them to be a strong flavour. So I decided to have them crumbled, dehydrated over the top of the dessert. My olives are in the oven dehydrating, so now I need to work on my tarragon. I want to use the tarragon because it's got a really nice aniseed flavour to it. I'm tasting it with the blackberry. I think they complement each other and it's a really fun idea. Yum. Tastes really good, like I like it, so I'm going with it. But I don't want to leave the herb just fresh. I think maybe I can crystallise the tarragon and it can be like a nice little shard on the plate. It's something that I'm kind of improvising with on the spot, but I just hope that it works because I really want to put it on the plate. Typically the last course of a degustation's like going out on a bang, so hopefully I can do that today.
Reese, you got 30 minutes before you need to start.
Okay, no
Let's
worries.
go, man. Reese, set yourself up.
Yep.
Get everything nice. I want 8 plates at a time, yeah? As soon as Sashi's done.
Yep. So it's getting really close to service time, so I'm getting all of my elements in together. Yeah, I'm really happy with the mousse. It's nice and airy, which I wanted. The flavour of the mousse is soft and sweet, and pairing it with some flavours like olives and tarragon is going to make it pop really well on my plate. I take the tarragon out of the oven and I give it a go. What the hell? Dehydrating it seems to have changed the flavour of the tarragon. Oh no!
Reese, what happened with the tarragon?
Ed, I cooked it and it went a bit bitter, and I think it's too strong. I'm not happy with the tarragon, so I'm gonna ditch it. I need green, I need something like colour on there. I'm definitely not risking putting the tarragon on the plate today. How am I gonna do this? I need to come up with a plan B quick. Or this dessert will be really bland and I'll be straight into the elimination.
Reese, need to start plating up. Hurry up.
I've taken the tarragon out of the oven and dehydrating it seems to have changed the flavour of the tarragon. It seems to be a little bit more bitter. How am I gonna do this? I'm gonna ditch it, but I have to look at something else to put on the plate, or my dessert won't have enough flavour.
Reese, let's go. Move.
So I run into the cool room. I'm thinking, what other flavours can I utilise on my dish, which I can get done quickly? There's some fennel in there. I can just put the fennel fronds on the dessert. The fennel has a similar aniseed flavour to the tarragon, so I'm going to use the fennel instead because it's less harsh. Typically the last course needs to really pack some flavour, so I just hope the fennel fronds will be enough.
Service, please. Is that the end, Sashi?
Yes.
Well done, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Beautiful dessert. Reese, how are you looking?
Oh, this is last element.
Great.
All my elements are now done. Now it's time to get onto plating.
Come on, mate. Let's go.
I get a scoop of the mousse and I place it on the plate and put some of the twill shards in the mousse.
I loved how you're down and in the plate. It's great.
Next to the mousse, I place some of the jam and some fresh blackberries. Then I finish the dish with a little bit of dehydrated olive and a fennel frond.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
I'm really pleased with the presentation of it, and it's something that I thought was a little bit unusual.
You can tell that's a Reese
It is a
dessert,
Reese dish,
can't you? What have we got?
I think that we're going to name this Blackberry Stegosaurus because it looks like the plates of the dinosaurs sticking up there. So blackberry and fennel, basically.
Yeah, should work, but we'll find out.
Technically, it's good, but there's a reason why the Stegosaurus died out. And why it's extinct, because it's a bit boring. Blackberry's hard because it's actually a surprisingly subtle fruit. So let's just bring out the savouriness of it with using a lot more fennel than Reese has used, or celery. It easily becomes lost against that big cloud of creamy mousse.
Really, it's a lot of work, and it's very pretty. It's clever, and I've got black olive paste, which kind of adds a salty element to it, but it's just lacking texture and flavour.
But the olive flavour is negligible.
Yeah.
If I say black olive, you think, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't think.
Yeah.
And this is like,
Yeah, we got to find it.
this is the dish that's about cream and sugar. It's not about blackberries or olives or fennel. Now, today I'm going to make you a Middle Eastern take on roasted cauliflower. When you're looking for a cauliflower, you know the deal. florets nice and tight together, no discoloration on the florets. This cauliflower is about 1 kilo one. We're going to trim off all the greens. So what we're going to do is we're going to microwave the cauliflower to soften it, then we're going to put it into a blazingly hot oven just to crisp it up, just to give it that lovely colour. So this cauliflower is going to take probably 11 minutes, bigger cauliflower 12 minutes. What we're really doing is we're just trying to see that point when it gets tender and the florets are starting to come together. So, onto the tarator. About 100 grams of sourdough bread. Tear up the bread simply, kettle, and all you're going to do is soak the bread. Now, I'm going to need someone to help me with this. Lisa, come on up.
Oh, come. Yay.
OK, so we've soaked the bread until it's nice and, you know, squidgy like that. I want you to squeeze out the excess water from the bread and then put it into the blender. I want it to be nice and dry. So how much you're getting? That's right, get out any of the squidgy stuff. So 100 grams of soaked bread, that's great. That's fantastic. 100 grams of blanched almonds. You can toast those if you want to give you a toastier flavour. Half a cup, 90 grams of tahini. Scrape that in. 2 cloves of garlic. OK, now, final thing. This is something George and I picked up when we were in Dubai with MasterChef. All you do, rather than putting liquid in, 2, 3, 4 ice cubes. And that's going to stop things heating up when you blend them. It's going to avoid some friction. So you can blend that away. Take these away. Have a look, stop it, give it a scrape down on the sides. Have a taste.
Yep.
Have a taste and see what you think. I'm not going to say I made a version of this the other day, and I just smashed the smoked almonds up in the mortar and pestle and put that in. That was great. So you had that lovely hickory flavour. Happy?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Great. Let's leave that. So that is the tarator done. I want to add some bursts of sweetness, but I love that sweet-sour combination. So currants, dried fruit, sultanas, rosé, they're all better when you plump them up. So all we're going to do is take 2 tablespoons of currants and a tablespoon of red wine vinegar, and we're just going to warm those 2 together. And the idea being then we'll put the currants to one side, we'll let them soak up the vinegar. All right, cauliflower. So now you have a little feel of that. It feels like it's starting to give a bit,
yep,
which is beautiful. So let's get a baking tray out. Rub that over with oil, sprinkle some salt on there. Once we put it into a 220-degree oven, 200 fan forced in here, okay, pop it in here. That's going to roast up, get golden on top. Now, we're also going to do, to give us some crunch for that cauliflower, we're going to do some spiced chickpeas. 800 grams of chickpeas, rinsed and drained, well drained, nice and dry. So, about 60 mils of olive oil, and we're using chili.
Paprika?
Smoked paprika. And then toss those chickpeas in there, and away we go. OK, let's have a taste. Yum.
Yum.
Yum, yum, yum. So put those chickpeas under the cauliflower. So we've got our tarator, our almond tarator. We got our currants. Now, we're going to make our own pomegranate molasses.
Fantastic.
It sounds so fancy, but it's really easy.
My type of recipe.
It's really easy. It is your type of recipe. Now, for pomegranate molasses, we need pomegranate juice, sugar, and something to make it extra sour. So red wine vinegar is great, lemon juice is great. And all we do is we reduce this down slowly. So what happens is, after time and the magic of television, this sloppy juice becomes that sticky syrup.
Wow.
It's fantastic. So, almond tarator, vinegared currants, pomegranate molasses, cumin seeds, fresh parsley, lemon, the cauliflower, perfectly cooked. Look at that.
Nice.
So how good's that? We're loving that. Now you can also see all those little gaps where things are going to drop and hide and survive. Then we've got our chickpeas, which are, here, listen to this. So crunchy, simple, bang, all right. So, lovely, smoothed over, deliciousness. But remember, we're going to nestle the cauliflower in the middle of there, so we sort of want it to be thicker at the outside than the inside.
Yep. Got your map.
There you go.
That's good.
Okay, on with the cauliflower. Now, this is where the fun stuff starts. Let's do the cumin first.
Okay.
You could toast this cumin out and all over. It's great if some falls down. Currants, some on and some around the outside. All right, some parsley and some dill. Same thing, just over the top. Okay, beautiful. Try chickpea.
Yeah. Good.
Not too glassy, but still
good.
crispy.
Yep. Put on top.
No, yes, put on top. And now our two final touches. A little bit of olive oil. A little olive oil. And there. And then our final touch, pomegranate molasses. What do you taste?
Good.
Yeah?
Nice and
Sour, a bit sweet.
Sour and sweet.
Candied. Microplane. And there we have Matt and Lisa's whole roast cauliflower with Middle Eastern flavours and spicy chickpeas.
Thank you.
We need someone else to taste. Come on, Huda. All right.
Are we
Let's
digging
go.
in?
there?
Dig in.
That cauliflower is cooked beautifully. Your pomegranate molasses.
Thumbs up.
Sorry, 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
And
nice
a
work.
knife.
The almond tarator.
Almond tarator is delicious as well. It's a nice, quick way of making it, which I always like as well, because when people are time poor, it's good to have quick recipes. I'm going in for another one.
Come on, Larry.
What are you doing there? Is that a pancake?
Japanese pancake.
Oh.
For round 1, I'm cooking a Japanese pancake and a brown sugar ice cream.
That is disgraceful. I mean, it's great.
Oh!
It's really good. Anything else there?
I'm doing a Japanese pancake stuffed with cream cheese.
You've had you had it all together before?
No, I haven't.
Brave, brave, brave.
You're scaring me.
Time's really running out, guys.
3 minutes to go, and now it's time to get my Japanese pancake on a plate. Okay. I think we might have a problem. But I don't know what I've done wrong. It's not cooking through. Freaking out right now. And the pancake won't actually come out.
Whoa!
Okay. And I just have to scrap it. I've got nothing to put on the plate. I cannot believe this. And I know for sure now that I'll be cooking the next round with broccoli.
Larissa!
There is no way that I want to be in that round 2 to cook with my least favourite ingredient. Not feeling very confident.
You had a Japanese twist on this dish that didn't make it. What was it and why didn't it make it?
Well, I was hoping to make a Japanese pancake, but in the last 2 minutes of the cook, it didn't work out, so I ditched that, and now it is a caramelised banana sundae.
Sometimes the fickle finger of fate intervenes and saves us from doing something stupid like putting a cream cheese Japanese steamed omelette on with a really good ice cream, which is not going to work together. It would have been horrible. That brown sugar ice cream is brilliant.
Oh,
I think when Fate said that omelet's not coming out, it's not going on the plate, there's no way Larissa is going to blow her chances of being safe in the first round. Amazing, great ice cream.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank goodness for that.
I know, oh my God, thank you. I don't understand how it worked out to be this way, but I'm glad they loved the ice cream. I did not expect that at all.
So how are you going to recreate it? You're going to read all about it in one of Matt's reviews.
This is the ultimate nightmare. I've got to make this without a recipe based on a review of Matt Preston that I have to decrypt. I'm going to really struggle today, really struggle.
Matt's not only an expert in food, but he's a brilliant writer. We all know that. He was awarded the world's best food writer in 2008. Wow. So you guys are lucky. Thank God I'm not writing it. It's going to be your job today to interpret Matt's words on a plate.
I start questioning whether this is even possible, and the more I think about it, the more I think it should be possible. We're all really good at cooking. We've all read lots of reviews. We've all eaten at lots of restaurants. It's a really creative, unusual challenge, and weirdly, it quite excites me.
But we thought we'd tease you a little bit and get the man himself to read out his review. And if I was you, I'd pay attention.
Nestled in a nest of caramelised white chocolate is the egg. Actually, a snowy quenelle of super smooth pear sorbet.
Matt's reading the review and I've forgotten the first sentence by the time he's got to the second sentence. I mean, I'm in real trouble.
It sits on a slab of slightly sour poached pear and fresh pear battens. Mortaring the pear to the plate is a sticky slick of treacle dark soft caramel whose nut butter notes echo the nest of salty sweet roasted ganache spaghetti.
I can just hear a ringing in my ears and I have no memory of what he's saying. There's just too many words.
Contrasting this fruitiness is a bittersweet blitz of walnut praline unevenly scattered with salted walnuts, both smashed to a rough rubble and as a soft powder, and sweetened by the molasses hit of very good brown sugar. Crisp threads of desiccated pear skin over the sorbet bring more texture to dessert. It is all about contrasting the creamy with crisp and crunch. But then the bird that laid this egg is all about balance.
Whoever came up with this deserves a prize.
I'm going to show you super simple ways of just adding that extra thing you need to make the dish sing. A 2-ingredient flatbread, a twist on the instant mayonnaise, which is the 30-second mayonnaise, a simple salsa, and finally, just a couple of ways to get you to think about protein when you've got limited time. They're not just individually great additions to a dish, but they also work together as one whole. I was so impressed in the off-site with Waleed's flatbread, but I want you to come and help me.
Okay.
So, and I want you to basically take over. So, you get on with that. Talk us through it. Let's go.
300 grams of flour. What, you're going to sit there now?
Yeah, of course. You know what? The secret of the kitchen is always delegation.
260 grams of yogurt.
Well done.
3 or 4 pinches of salt.
Nice.
Mix it all around.
This is a super quick way of doing it. So if you're there with your whatever dishes it is, you go, I haven't got time to cook rice, I can't make a pasta, this is 3 minutes. You can literally roll it out, it'll puff up, and a hot pan, so it's a real saver. Are you happy with that?
Yep.
Would you like a little bit of flour for dusting your board with? There you go. Yeah. I want them about 6 inches, 16 centimetres, so about that sort of size.
Okay.
What we're going to do is put them on a griddle pan, hot pan. If you do it that way at home, you can then pop them in the toaster, which is great, because the problem with flatbread is keeping them warm. While Waleed is working his little tush off, we are going to make instant mayonnaise, and it's absolutely brilliant. What I've got here is some dried smoked jalapenos, some which are called chipotle, lemon juice. In with 1 egg. Whatever you do, don't break the yolk. And then 350 mils of grapeseed oil. We're not using olive oil because, for me, too peppery, too strong. The flavour we want here is chipotle. basket of the stick blender over the yolk. Okay, I reckon that's pretty good. It's gonna plate that up straight away on here. Away we go.
Oh, yum.
Cool consistency.
Potley mayonnaise done. Very nice. Let's whack these over here in the griddle pan. Hot pan, they should puff up. Turn up the heat. I've just had that going, saves time. Warm it up, plan ahead, early on away you go. Well, look at that, how good's that? Well, he's cleaning down. He's got his accessorised with a nice white napkin. That's brilliant. Please, huge hand for Wally. Thank you very much indeed. Off you go.
I'll leave this with you.
Are you sure you don't want it?
All right,
As a souvenir.
Okay, thank you.
For our salsa, stems of coriander. I see them like Mexican chives. They're absolutely delicious. Okay, a teaspoon of cumin seeds. You could have a toasted cumin seeds, or you could do what I've done for untoasted ones. Salt, 3 spring onions, just the whites. Corn, we're just going to cut reasonable slabs off the side. I don't mind if it's got a bit of, sticking together. I think that's quite nice. Some oil, a bit like butter. Lime juice for lime. And I'm putting pomegranate seeds in. So here's a little tip. I put the pomegranate seeds in just before serving because they're going to discolour. All right, so we've got our flatbreads done, potley mayonnaise done, we've got our salsa done, just pomegranates to add. We're now going to talk about protein. If we're going to put something in here, it's got to be a protein. Chicken's fantastic, it's wonderful stuff, but it's going to take a bit of time to cook all the way through. So why don't we do what they do with tacos in Mexico City? Why don't we slice it across like this and beat it out so it's nice and flat. And then lay it in. How long is that going to take? 30 seconds or something. Super quick. That's pretty much done now. We don't want to overcook it. Prawns, hot pan, little oil. Steph, I need you. You're a contact officer. I need you to
Are you
come over
behaving
here.
yourself?
Put on a hat.
Oh, I brought my hair.
Stand by. Put on a hat, stand by.
Oh my God.
Just in case, because we're now going to throw a little bit of tequila. Tequila, lime juice, great, fantastic Mexican combination of flavours. Less tequila, less flavour, but more chariness. Leave it right till the end and have a taste of that.
That's so good. Yes, it's beautiful.
It's just two things. I know, go sit down. Because the process of cooking is constantly thinking and improving, what I'm going to do, rather than mix those pomegranate seeds through, and then I'm just going to put the pomegranates over the top because I just think it looks nice. And then coriander, the leaves. So I'm going to use some of those leaves just on the top. Flatbreads, 2 ingredients, quick chicken breast or prawns, choice of protein depending on what sort of person you are, potley mayonnaise and a corn salsa. Together, a delicious dish. Individually, potentially the difference between you being bottom 3 and avoiding the evil pressure test. Okay? Let's plate one of these up. There's no real rules, but I think you need a bit of mortar on the bottom. What are we going to do? Prawns?
Prawns.
Yeah, prawns are good. Some of our salsa on here. Rolling it up. And away we go. Now I need someone to eat it.
Yes! Yes!
As you may know, I reviewed restaurants for 12 years before I shifted my career over to food writing and writing recipe books. But as it's the year of surprises and we're celebrating 10 years of MasterChef, I've been persuaded to come out of retirement for one last review. That's right. You have to base your dish on my review of Joe's dish.
I reckon my worst nightmare is coming true.
This challenge is a puzzle, guys. You have to put your detective hat on and follow the clues. The clues in your review, the clues in your box of ingredients, and the clues in the specialised equipment at your bench. You got it?
So, here it is. Peel a bag of mandarins and you'll find that most have between 8 and 11 segments, which makes Joe Grabek's homage to Swan Hill's new season Imperial Mandarins at Melbourne Sacks even more unique. There are a mere 7 individual components on the plate. If you drew an outline around the lot, it would look like one giant mandarin segment bulging slightly to the left.
I'm really trying to focus in at the moment with what Matt is saying and listen word for word, trying to find anything in between the lines.
At the crescent's heart, resting on a teaspoon of mandarin peel sherbet, sits a dessert spoon-sized quenelle of silky smooth mandarin sorbet. There are also 2 quivering but slightly fluffy sheep's milk panna cottas. One on the plate is a squat cylinder of tenderness below the centre of the sorbet, and the other, an equally creamy half cylinder resting on its rounded side below.
I can't even process anything. I feel like I've just heard it, but it's just gone one ear and out the other.
3 large, torn fragments of almond-flavoured microwave sponge are scattered across the top, like a front of golden rain clouds sweeping in across the length of the crescent.
Golden rain clouds of sponge? Bloody hell.
Around these foundations sit 3 cubes of squishy chamomile tea jelly. In turn, each splotch is topped with a delicate little dollop of fluid gel.
It's really hard trying to concentrate and keep my nerves down at the same time. Oh, it's going to be a very tough one.
So this could be recipe impossible, but they actually don't have any recipes. So can we see what all the fuss is about?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So we've got the
Panna cottas.
segments. Panna cotta.
Yep.
What is that?
Mandarin custard.
Mandarin custard. Mandarin sorbet.
Now I'm loving your description of clouds across the crescent.
Yeah.
It actually makes sense, doesn't
And
it?
that's
It's really
a
beautiful.
sponge, yeah?
Microwave sponge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, almond.
That's good. So refreshing. Yeah.
I mean, obviously the challenges are going to be things like knowing how much gelatin to use in gels, jelly, panna cotta.
The 2 gels are exactly the same flavouring, but the fluid gel is set with agar and then blitzed, and the tubes are set with a little less agar and gelatin as well. Now that's in the review. You kind of got to dig down to find that the fact exactly
and
the same.
when you're under pressure, you just skip lines, don't you?
But then you need to plate it up and make sure it's in balance. I mean, for me, this is all about, it's perfume, it's citrusy, but it's also not sickly sweet. You've got that beautiful yogurt, which gives it this lovely savouriness.
In the panna cotta.
Nice. One more.
It is on the menu. So
delicious.
Sugar.
What are you juicing for?
Sorbet. Just working through and just trying to piece together everything that's in the boxes to go with the ingredients. I'm starting with the sorbet first. I'll get onto that so I can get it churning.
The crescent's heart, resting on a teaspoon of mandarin peel sherbet, sits a dessert spoon-sized quenelle of silky smooth mandarin sorbet.
For the sorbet, I juice some mandarins and add them to the saucepan. With the juice, I put in some sugar, some glucose.
You need to be careful with the sorbet.
Sorbet can become icy and hard if there's not enough sugar content to bind all the ice crystals together. So I've got to be careful with this. I cool the mixture down in an ice bath, and when it's cool, add an egg white, whisk that in, and strain it off into the churn.
Come on, Jess. Keep moving.
My strength is in desserts, but today it's honestly a challenge because we don't know what it's supposed to look like. But I'm hoping that I can replicate the dish and hopefully just get all my ratios right. Mandarin's a very juicy fruit. You need sugar syrup and glucose to stabilize the actual mixture. So I'm using the egg tester, so I put an egg there and I basically add enough sugar syrup so that the egg will float to the top, and that will make sure that it's stable. The eggs pop to the top.
I'm really happy with the egg test. I add some zest and I mix it through. I get my sorbet mixture into the churner. I'm just hoping that once it's churned, that it's got a nice silky smooth texture.
So what we're going to do is we're starting off making a very simple soffritto. A soffritto is an Italian base that they use in all their sauces. And traditionally, it is 2 part onion, 1 part celery, 1 part carrot. Now, because it's a vegetarian lasagna, I want it to have lots of body. So I'm going to double the amount of celery and double the amount of carrot. So we have got 80 mils of olive oil in here. We've got 2 large onions chopped up, finely diced, 3 carrots, 3/6 of celery, de-stringed and diced.
It smells good.
4 cloves of garlic crushed up, I'm adding there. I'm adding the garlic at this point because I find if I add the garlic at the beginning like I used to, the garlic burns, you get that bitter flavour. So I'm just adding it in just to soften it. I'm now going to put in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste into, you can see how those onions and carrots are starting to soften down. I want to leave some chunkiness there so I can actually taste it in the finished sauce. Now, with the lasagna, one of the enemies about lasagna is moisture. You need moisture because you've got to cook the pasta sheets. But too much moisture and everything kind of like slides apart, you know? Not good. So we're going to use zucchini because I like the fact that zucchini is going to give us some really meatiness in the texture. But I'm going to fry it off for 2 reasons. One, I want to reduce the water level. And number 2, the second thing I want to do is I want to give it some flavour by browning it up. So I'll just get this pan going. Now I want to cut these zucchini into 1 centimetre slabs. So you can see that's going to give you some real texture there. And we're just going to put these in the oil to cook. Okay, so I've got the zucchini. Just going to finish off the sauce. So I've got 700 mils of passata, 400 can of tomatoes, 4 bay leaves, and a little bit more joy, just some stock cubes. Finally, 150 mils of water. That's just going to help. That's going to cook out. We want it to be so much thicker than that, as you'll see with the finished version. We're just going to cook it out. That's just a simple nat. It's just a bog standard Napoli, which really everyone in Australia needs to know how to make. Some salt and a little bit of pepper. And we just let that lot cook away for 40 minutes. Okay, so what's the final thing we need for lasagna? Bechamel. It's a pretty standard, boring thing. We like it, it's flour, it's super retro. I thought, how can I make the bechamel more exciting? And I sat long and deep in my palace of solitude, and I thought about Italy, and I thought about what Italy went to me, and I looked at the ingredients. I looked at the green of zucchini. I looked at the white of the pasta. There's a lot of red, and I thought, the flag of Italy, the green, the white, the red, is the inspiration for this dish. And I thought, what I need to do is take my bechamel, and turn it green. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you could make a bechamel and put spinach in the bechamel? And so I returned to my trusty friend, the stick blender. And all we're going to do, 500 mils of milk, 1 pack, frozen spinach, defrosted, and then squeeze dry any extra liquid. And we're just going to break that up. What I want to do is I really want to make this super green. So I don't want it flecky. Actually, Derek, come here. Just blend that for me, will you, mate? While Derek's doing that, I'm going to make our roux. So, 70 grams of butter. I'm just going to bring that butter up to a nice foamy temperature.
Happy with it?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right?
You're not going home on the back of that, that's for sure. Well done, Derek, thank you, that's great. Big hand for Derek. Excellent work, Derek. So, butter, hot, flour. And I'm just going to add our spinach milk. And we're going to whisk it in. We'll just start stirring it in. The enemy of lasagna is moisture. We need to cook this spinach puree out for about 5 minutes so it gets not really, really thick, but thick enough so it doesn't just melt away when you put it in the oven. And into it, we put our nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon. You can smell it, it's delicious. Stir that through. Make sure we get as much off the whisk as possible. Give that to Derek to eat. Okay, so now it's time to assemble our lasagna. We've got our spinach bechamel, we've got our tomato sauce, we've got our zucchini, we've got our lasagna sheets, we've got 1 cup of grated mozzarella, 1/2 cup of parmesan, and the oven preheated to 180. First up, tomato sauce, 1 layer on the bottom. One layer lasagna. Another, probably talking about a cup of tomato sauce in there. Spreading it over. Now, our zucchini. So, you can fit them in sideways, like this. They smell fantastic. Okay. Then, final layer of lasagna, tomato sauce. Now, our spinach bechamel. So, final layer, cup of mozzarella, 1/2 cup of grated parmesan. This now goes into 180-degree oven for 40 to 50 minutes. "48 minutes later, and there we have
Oh, I like that.
our vegetarian lasagna. Okay, moment of truth. Let's cut out a slice and see how we've gone. Here we have one brutal slab. Christina, Sandeep, come on.
Thanks, Matt.
That's all right. Yeah, go straight for the edge. Best bit. So.
It's actually brilliant. Just like it holds together, yet it melts as you go. And I'm going for the edge again, sorry.
Yeah. Come on, my chickens. Well, welcome to my segment of Masterclass, and I'm going to make 3 very simple country slices. The date rice bubble slice, the bus driver's mother-in-law slice, and Amanda's slice. My thinking was, you've been in Japan for a week, you've eaten tempura, ramen, it's coming out of your ears. And about now, you just want a bit of taste of home. And I think there's nothing more Australian, nothing more taste of home than country slices. The first slice we're going to start with is the date rice bubble slice. Okay, so I've melted down very slowly on a low heat 125 grams of butter, 120 grams of chopped dates, and 90 grams of brown sugar. So the idea is you just want it to get this lovely fudgy consistency. And then this is traditional old-fashioned Australian rice bubbles. So we've got 120 grams of rice bubbles. We pour them into the fudgy mixture, and then we just stir. So when you line your sliced tin, obviously leave some overhang because it's going to make it easier for you to get the slice out of the tin. In goes our fudgy, datey goodness. And then we're just going to press these over. I've got some pink coconut here. Beautiful. Simple, packed, in the fridge. All right, that's slice number 1, done. Now I'm going to move on to slice number 2. So, 220 grams of white sugar, 150 grams of self-raising flour, 160 grams of sour cherries, dried, and then 1 egg, 2 heaped tablespoons of golden syrup. We mix this up until all the ingredients are combined. Now I'm going to put in 100 grams of melted butter. This is the sort of slice that sits in the cupboard and calls your name. Go and have one bit, sneak it, and then you never leave the tin fully closed because you know about 3 minutes later you're going to go, yeah, okay, one more. Come on, Eliza. Please can you neatly spread that into all the corners using these 2 very sticky implements that I'm going to give you.
Thank you.
There you go, because you are a master. And I'm going to get on with the next slice. This is the bus driver's mother-in-law slice. We start with 90 grams of melted butter. Next up, 150 plain flour. 70 grams of ground almonds or almond meal. 120 grams of brown sugar. Stir to combine. This is going to be a base on which you're going to put an almond, butter and honey topping. So here we've got our crumb for the base, which is nicely, lightly combined into our baking tray. Spread out somewhat more quickly than Eliza's doing hers.
Well, you've left a big gap. There we go, how's that?
That's pretty darn good.
Great.
Thank you very much indeed for your help. You've done a brilliant job.
Thank you.
Very good. Big hand of applause. Now, the Amanda slice goes in a preheated 180-degree oven, and the base for the bus driver slice goes into the oven at 170. And I have, because I'm a well-planned person, done one already. This is going to be nicely biscuity. It's been baked for 12 minutes, and we will now make our topping. We warm up 1/4 cup of honey on a medium heat, a slightly indulgent 125 grams of butter. And then here we've got 220 grams of slivered almonds, 2 packets. Those almonds, got a lovely toasty smell coming off there. And then all we're going to do with this is slather generously over the top of that slice. So now this goes back in the oven. 15 minutes later, it's going to look, hopefully, like that. Some flake salt over the top. And finally, Amanda's slice has been in there a little bit longer, so 180 for 30 minutes. And this is one of these things, when it comes out of the oven, it just looks home-baked and it smells buttery, sweet, decadent. So there you go, 3 slices, born in Australia, simple. Come on, guys. Find yourself a nice shady spot. What I'm going to make for you is a really classic baked cheesecake. This cheesecake recipe that I've discovered in the last year has revolutionized my cheesecake making because through a couple of very simple tips, it goes from being claggy to being super creamy and unbelievably stick your finger in delicious. The 2 real tricks are all about the transference of heat. So we're going to slow down the cooking process by putting the cheesecake tin in effectively a bain-marie, putting water around it. And the other thing is when we come to cool the cheesecake, we're going to do that very slowly as well. And there's a really simple way of doing it. So first up, 23 centimetre spring form tin lined around the sides and on the bottom. Now, this is one of those really simple things you need to do. At the point when you line your tin, check you've got a baking tray that's the right size for this to fit in snugly. What we're going to do is take this and we're going to make a simple biscuit base. Now, we talk about stepping things up. This is your classic granita digestive biscuit base, yeah? 250 grams of biscuits. Why 250 grams of biscuit?
That's what's in a packet.
That's what's in a packet. What is the most annoying thing about a recipe? That little bit that gets left over. And these are things you should be thinking about. You know, that's what makes a recipe usable. So 250 grams of biscuits, 60 grams of sugar, and then we'll blitz those two together. And then 75 grams of butter that I've left out in the sun to melt. It is unsalted butter, because obviously there's a fair bit of salt in those biscuits. You can smell that lovely, toasty, buttery combo there. The real secret here with this crumb is just making sure you press it down into all corners of the tin and you actually give a firm base for the filling to sit on. 1, 2, 3 bits of foil, put the cake in the middle, and scrunch everything up around it. Why have I done this, Brett?
Because it's going in the bain-marie.
Yeah, and so what's the foil going to do?
Watertight.
You've got to make it watertight, and it's going to also insulate a bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put this into the oven, 175 for 10 minutes. The filling is super simple. 750 cream cheese. What we're going to do is we're just going to kind of make it smooth. We're going to beat it. Other flavours you can put in there. Chocolate ripple, you might want to use some cardamom or some chai spices or something else to just step up the cake. So in go 230 grams of sugar. We're going to work that, we're going to churn that together until we lose the granular feel of the sugar. And now we're going to add 4 eggs, one at a time, yeah? So 1 egg, work it until it's fully incorporated, then the next egg, then the next egg, then the next egg. Okay, 10 minutes, out it comes. It's just brown and set. Really important now to let this cool down. I'm now adding 2½ tablespoons of lemon juice, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a good pinch of salt. Salt, I always think sugar is like a horse, salt is like the bridle. It's the thing that keeps the sweetness in check. So I'm turn the speed down, and then to this we're going to add 300 mils of cream. We're really just combining that now. Bain-marie tin, cooled base. Take the cheesecake and pop this in the oven, like so. And now, about 1 inch or 2.5 centimetres of boiling water just around the edge. "65 minutes, 175-degree oven. And then the secret is turning the oven off and leaving it for an hour. Let the cheesecake cool. So there's our cheesecake. I'm going to ask Heather to plate this cheesecake. Come around here, Heather. Join me. So Heather, you've got a palette knife, you've got a plate, you've got a beautiful tender cheesecake, little half moon of colour on the top. I think you're between. That's good. You're between the cake and the paper. So I can come in here and just lift the... There. OK, away you go. Away you go. All right, and there. Yay! Well, Heather, you've done such a beautiful job. I think you should pick 3 people to try this cheesecake with you. Who do you want?
So Zoe, Mimi and Chloe.
Now, you're going to cut this. If it was on a plinth, I would recommend unwaxed dental floss to cut it, because you can actually use it to cut down, almost like a cheese slice, and cut it neatly. That is a beautiful slice. Well, that's my take on a cheesecake. So, what do you think of it?
It's so yum. It's really light in your mouth and it doesn't stick to the root of your mouth either. It just kind of melts and it's really creamy and delicious.
Heather's done a good job, huh? Well, big hand for Heather. Nice work. I'd take those back.